Hi everyone, Dwarf Fortress I here. In today's video we're playing Dwarf Fortress and I'd like to show you how to set up your dye and milling industry. This is a topic which I've seen mentioned a lot in the various online forums, so I thought I'd do a short tutorial video and show you how I do this. Okay, so as you can see, we're on the surface. I've built a windmill and I've built mills. You can change the names of your mills. So what you want to do is build at least a couple of different mills all connected to the same windmill. You may need to build a second windmill if you don't have enough power, but here on this map we do have enough power. Mill stones are required. You can build a millstone in the stoneworking workshop. Now the next thing you want to do is create a stockpile for bags, so it's important that you click on furniture and then bags, but also notice that I've ticked here other materials, core quality and total quality. If you don't tick this, the dwarves will not bring the bags to the stockpile, much to your frustration. I've seen a lot of people have the same issue. I myself was tearing my hair out. Why are the dwarves not bringing the bags? This was the reason. So if you tick those boxes, you'll be fine. You want to set up another stockpile for the dimple cups and another stockpile for the hide root, if those are the two dyes you're choosing to make. Here you can see I've just gone here to food and then plants. There we go, plants, and then you want dimple cups. So you can just choose it here, and now your dwarves will only bring dimple cups here. This is important because you're going to get the mill on the top level to take items from these two stockpiles, from the bag stockpile and from the dye stockpile. Okay, I'll just create one for hide root and then we'll move on. Okay, now that we've set up the two stockpiles, here we're going to go into the options and we're going to click which stockpile that particular millstone can take from. So we want it to take from the dimple cup storage and we want it to take items from the bag stockpile. And now we can just press done. And then we want to do the same thing for the other millstone, so we can just change the name to hide root millstone. And we want to do the same thing. It's only going to take items from the bag stockpile and from the hide root stockpile. Okay, so we're good to go now. As you can see, the windmill is producing 40 power, it needs only 22. And we can go ahead and build a third millstone, which we'll use to mill other things, such as oats and to produce flour and so on. So I'll just show you how to do this. Go down here, produce a millstone. And we need some rock mechanisms. In the meantime, we want to produce a dyer's workshop. So this is how you can do that. You'll need buckets and a barrel, and I'll put it down here. Okay, now you can see that we've got quite a number of dimple cups in that stockpile, and we can say mill plants. And it will only mill dimple cups. If you don't do it like this, the dwarves will just take any old plant that they can find and mill it. So you will end up milling all kinds of things, but not dimple cups, and you will not get the dye that you want. So that's why you have to set up these stockpiles. So let's set up another stockpile here. This one is going to be for milled plants, so I'm going to say all, and basically what will happen is anything that I mill will land here, including dyes and any types of flour that I produce. So it's all in one place, and it makes it more efficient for your dwarves, who are then just going to walk over here to the dyer's workshop. Okay, so a bit of time has passed and we've now got the millstone, so you can see we're able to build it now, and we'll use that particular millstone to mill everything except for dye. It's very useful for producing paper, for producing flour and things like that. So here you can see I can click mill seeds and that will produce a paste. We can mill plants and that will mill all other kinds of plants. Alright, so if we come to our dimple cup mill and we tell the dwarves to mill plants, you can see here they've put a dimple cup into the mill, and they've got a bag here which will store the dye, and they're going to mill it. Probably takes them a couple of days. And here you can see dimple cup dye, and you got some dimple cup spawn. Same is true here for the hide root. You get the hide root dye, and now we have two different kinds of dye. You can see here we've got more than enough hide root and dimple cup ready to be produced or ready to be turned into dye. So here, if we come to our dye and flour stockpile, you can see if we go to the dyer's shop, we can just tell it to dye cloth, and they will bring a piece of cloth, they will bring the dye, and they will then dye that cloth, which makes it worth a lot more money for trading. It also makes the item more valuable, and this improves the dwarves' thoughts. So here you can see how to produce dyed cloth. This one has been turned red, dyed red. An important point, how do you make sure only dyed cloth is used? You go into standing orders like I just did, and you change it to use dyed cloth only, and that will force the dwarves to only use dyed cloth. Now we can come back to the clothier's shop, and here you can see they've put dyed pigtail cloth here. It's a slight red color, and voila, they turn it into a pigtail dress which is dyed red. So we can have a look at it, and it'll say that it's been dyed with hide root. Here's another one, pigtail cloth. It's also been dyed red. Here you can see it's red with dye. It says it in the description, and that will simply add value to the piece of clothing. Alright everyone, I hope that was useful. I know it can be frustrating to set all these stockpiles up, but please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. Alright everyone, see you next time.